A woman in Whitehorse lost her entire life savings, $29,000, to scammers. She worked 2 jobs for 2 years straight to build that money up, hoping to invest in her future and English language courses. The scammers posed as representatives from her payment processor and then her bank, convincing her to hand over her sensitive financial information under the guise of investigating a previous scam. This isn't an isolated incident. Fraud is skyrocketing across the country, with one report showing a 6,300% increase in losses in the Yukon alone since 2020. Her bank, TD, refused to reimburse her, stating that because she authorized the transactions through her own device, she was responsible. They differentiate this from outright fraud, where the customer has no involvement. Consumer advocates are pushing back, arguing that banks should be held more accountable. They believe banks, by pushing online banking and not implementing sufficient safeguards, are partly to blame when customers are manipulated into sending money. The current system leaves victims to fight expensive legal battles against powerful financial institutions. The federal government is trying to tackle this with a new anti-fraud strategy, which includes creating a financial crimes agency and strengthening the Bank Act to require banks to have better fraud prevention measures. However, some critics feel these measures lack enforcement power, comparing them to previous consumer protection initiatives that lack teeth. Ultimately, consumer watchdogs are calling for legislation that makes banks responsible for scam losses by default, requiring them to prove extreme negligence on the customer's part to avoid reimbursement. This approach, already in place in the United Kingdom, aims to shift the burden and encourage banks to proactively invest in customer protection technologies. I'm Corey with the story, and you've been listening to Canada News Today, AI-powered local news.